probably experienced one of the two. There's the first one, which is loud. It's extremely loud. Everybody can see that you're broke. They are probably even laughing at you. Some of them, they're even making examples out of you. Parents are like, ungafani no khomutso, uyambona ukuthi unjani? Hambe esikolweni mntanam, not knowing that actually you did go to school, you did study, you did secure that degree, but you are in the process of building wealth. And as a result of building wealth, you look like there's not much that you're doing because it's not paying you yet. And then there's another type of broke, and this one is the quiet one. It's the one that is respectable. Even Nasekaya, they respect it. You know, there's the uncle who doesn't have a job, but he's starting multiple businesses. They are not really doing as well as they should because he's still studying out, right? And then there's another brother who's got a job. They have the perfect car, the house, the wife, they've got the suit. It's what we call a machrotman in most instances. But that person is broke because it's 25 and they literally don't have any money in their bank account. So today, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about two types of broke, and I want you to identify which one are you. Welcome to Mastering the Grind. My name is K Jesus, aka Khomotso. You can follow me on TikTok at K Bonoko. Make sure you click the subscribe button so that you can get all the education that I'm about to bring to you. I've got my notes here to make sure that I do not forget anything. So, speaking about the two types of brokes, the salary, guys, the salary is very comfortable. I don't want to lie. I've been there before where I had the best type of job. I had the car, I had the house, but come month end, actually, I'm super broke. I had to leave my job because I was not happy. To the point that ukuba broke kwami, even though I had a salary, ended up making me do things that I was not supposed to be doing. And as a result, it cost me a lot, including my freedom. So, when you get paid monthly, now we're talking about the broke that has a salary. You think on a 30-day cycle. Today, you're already planning your next 30 days. But unfortunately for most of you, Leo 30 days, if you Leo mali, awunayo at all, because there's the entrepreneur who's debiting your account. It's your Mr. Price who's clothing you. It's your ShopRite Checkers where you buy your groceries. It's your bar where you go for leisure every weekend. Each and every entrepreneur, Maziti 25, they already know, which, look, we're debiting this person's account. It's the insurer, it's your bank, it's literally everyone but you. So when who has a salary, you probably are not even aware that you are being farmed. And the people that are debiting your account, they're harvesting you so much to the point that you think you're living free, but actually you are in the most comfortable prison you've ever been in. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to talk to people that are ready to build their businesses and to actually recognize, Guti, there's no rush. Patience is your best friend when it comes to building a business. And also, I want you to keep this at the back of your head, because Jim Rohn once said, profits are better than wages, which is true. This is because when it comes to profits, you're trading your time for value. You're not trading your time for money. Yes, Siazi, we are making money. We are in the business of making money. But what you are offering as value is what eventually gets you paid. And then when it comes to your salary, you're trading your time, which is your most expensive asset. There's somebody out there who's expecting you to be emsebenzini from 9 to 5 p.m. You get home, you're exhausted, you don't even have the energy to look into your own goals. Now the question becomes, what will you do when you get to a point where now you don't have a job anymore? Remember, you were so comfortable with your salary that you did not even think, Uguti, you need to upskill yourself and actually trade the skills that you have for value. Yeah, understand? Remember that people that have got a salary, and not that I've got anything against people that have got jobs, because we are in South Africa where kenzagala Uguti, in fact, it's not Uguti kenzagala, it's a fact. Like over 32% of people are unemployed. On top of those 32% of people that are unemployed, some of them, they don't even have a skill. Some of them are waiting for NYDA to give them the funding. Some of them are waiting for ISIFTA to give them the funding, and they are not considerate of the fact that when you turn 35, literally in the system, that's the cutoff date for you, or that's the cutoff time. So what happens, Mofika, with 35, when you have not upskilled yourself, imali, whether or not you are funded. You understand? Back to why profits are better than your salary. It's simply because with your profits, you're not trading your time, but you're trading value. We're going to get to that because I hear a lot of content creators speaking about value, value, value. And if you are in the township, you're probably wondering, what's my value? I've got this business, but what exactly is my value? How do I define my value? I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but I want you to put it at the back of your head. Uguti, yes, at the current time where you're still building your business, it doesn't look like you're doing much, but you will later realize, especially if you are consistent in what you're doing, you'll later realize that consistency builds the business. And consistency is not repetition, guys, because people confuse consistency with repetition. Repetition is repetition. It's when you do something over and over again and you're not improving at what you do. And then consistency, it's when you do something over and over and over until it becomes your identity, right? Your salary is your sedation. The system no, when alala, just get comfortable in this prison that we've set up for you, because we want your time, okay? Which is different from business. When it comes to business, you are setting your own time. In the beginning, guys, you're not setting your own time. Your time is determined by the goals that you need to achieve, by the things that you need to get done to make sure that your business is fully operational and your business can exist whether or not you are there. Ane? Okay, let's go back to the broke entrepreneur, which is what a lot of you get discouraged by. That's where dreams die, because you've been working at this goal for over 3 years or 4 years and awuboni umphumela wayo. I just want you to shift your mentality a little bit. The broke entrepreneur, it's temporary, chum. It's temporary. Don't let that phase you nagancane, because it's an investment. You are investing. Look at it in a way, yoguti. One of the good days, if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you send those invoices, if you respond to clients as you're supposed to respond to clients, if you post that content, if you submit your pitches as you should, you will eventually get to the point where your business pays you, because starting a business is a transformation. It's a transformation journey, if I can put it like that. This is because when you start a business, you start not knowing exactly what you're doing. Remember, you just have an idea and the idea exists in your head. Nobody else can see the idea. You see the idea. You see where the vision is and where you're going. But abanye abantu, they just see you are here, sinini uwenzi podcast, sinini washa amateki, sinini uthengisa amakota. People just see you all over the place. But when at the back of your head, you have a destination, and the destination is what you need to focus on. If you focus on the destination, then you will put in what it takes for you to reach the destination. Okay. When it comes to building a business, the broke entrepreneur is that guy that is looking at the bank statement and they're thinking, what the hell am I doing? Is starting a business even worth it? It's that guy who does not get the respect. It's that guy who sometimes does not even get the respect from the wife. The wife is like, what are you doing? Why don't you just go get a job? Yeah, well, that's the broke entrepreneur. But one thing that I need to tell you, when you build the business, you're not just building a brand, you're also building a system. Because what will differentiate you between a person who's just selling amakota estrateni and a person who's selling amakota in a container that is branded, that has a way yokuthatha ama-order and deliver ama-order wabantu, that is placed on Mr. D? It's the system. Build the systems so that even when you're not there, you are still able to run your business. With the system, you'll bring identity. People will then be able to identify you. For example, when we look at McDonald's, It started as just that, a beggar joint where somebody saw the opportunity. They're like, no, wait, this beggar joint actually has a system. A person comes in, they place their order, they sit there, they book a table, we bring the French fries and tontoni and tonton. And the person who built McDonald's then realized, oh, Musa, I can duplicate this system. Now we've got McDonald's everywhere in the country, in the world, matter of fact. So when you build a business, think of systems. Don't just think, you washa amategi, sharp, washa amategi today. But what is the goal? Are you looking to have vending machines where people can drop off their sneakers and ufaga business idea when alap? Get a vending machine where people can drop off their sneakers and then you come and collect and then you wash them and you package them and you drop them off at a certain location where a person can come and pick them up. Simplify things. Build a system, not only for yourself so that you can get the freedom, but also for your pockets, because when you have a system, you've got a tangible asset. In the beginning, when you build a business, banks don't see that. They don't see that you're actually building an asset. I'll tell you a story about assets. About 2-3 months ago, I applied for funding. And I was so excited when I applied for this funding because I was like, Bona, I've been working on this business for 2 years. I made sure I've got my bookkeeping righty. My books are looking proper. Yazin, I put in the works. I built the brand, social media pages. Everything was up and running. And then I went and I applied a SIFTA. When I got there, they looked at my application and all they could see was a net loss. They're like, I told me, you've spent so much. We're looking at your management's accounts and we're seeing that you've spent so much. You are losing money. You're not making money. But what they were not realizing is that when you initially start your business, you are going to be spending a lot of money to keep the business afloat. The profits are there. You can see them. But because you have to pay for social media, sometimes the money is not coming in as fast as you spend it. It's normal. Don't let that discourage you. In my case, that almost discouraged me. But when I got to understand, Uguti, there's nothing wrong with the system wants assets. And at the current stage, when you are still building, some of you don't have the assets. You don't have the tangible assets that the bank can now collect as collateral, or that can be taxed, or that can be controlled. Therefore, you will definitely get declined. And you will not only get declined by the banks, you will get declined by government, because the government has so much red tape. They've got so much red tape, and the red tape is not there to make you feel comfortable. They are amending everything, the laws of the country. But for some reason, when it comes to supporting small businesses, there's not much that is being done in that space, because everyone is expecting you to have assets. Ubanama assets kanjani when you are literally just building. You understand? So the best asset that you can ever build for yourself is a system that works whether or not you are there. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense, ne? I hope I'm making sense. So back to, let's speak about the system again. I want to go back to the system because I feel like I am forgetting something. When it comes to the system, ne, they're looking at the amount of money that is coming into your account and the amount of money that you save after you've paid almost everybody. But what they're forgetting is when you're a small business, there are a lot of mistakes that you're going to do when you start in the early days, especially if you're the experience. You don't come from a family where umalume wa in a business, ugogo wa in a business. You are literally the first to do this thing, because bega, you are in South Africa where over 32% of people are unemployed, and over 32% of people, some of kulabo, they are unskilled. So you are literally teaching yourself the skill of running the business. They don't take that into consideration. Matter of fact, they don't even care that you don't have the experience. All they want to do is, do they see profitability on your business? Do they see the assets that they can come for and collect if you fail to pay back their money? But what also stresses me out a little bit, if I can put it like that, is that how is the government expecting you to have assets when you are literally applying for a government grant? If you are in the comment section, please do send right alapo in the comments when usebenza ku government isebenza kanjani lento le, because I don't understand how you are expecting a person who just started a business a year ago, 2 years ago, to have assets using what exactly, because the umuntu lo, they're starting a kitchen liga kokwakhe for some reason, that's just an example. They don't have a car, they don't have a house, they are unemployed, the only asset they have is grade 12. And then you advertise and you say, oh, we've got CEDA funding for people to come through and apply for this funding. And when they do apply, you put on the red tape. I want you to help me understand that, because that's where most small businesses are validated or discouraged. When you get the funding, you get the validation with, oh, actually they do see that I'm actually doing something. But when you don't get the funding, whether or not you qualify for the funding, you get discouraged. You understand? So I want you to help me understand that, because I, as a person who went through that, and I'm taking it personal, because I invested 2 years of my life building this business, only for you to say, no, you suffered a net loss of 20,000. Yes, I lost 20,000, but I lost 20,000. I made 250,000, and that was in a space of 3 months. But you still didn't want to give me the funding. Askis, I'm venting, guys. I'm venting. I am venting because I don't understand why the system is like that, especially for people that are in the townships that are trying to build these businesses, but the government is just not giving them the support. But anyway, I digress. Mastering the grind. In this particular podcast, we are not here for people who are waiting for government to give them the grant. No, we are not here for that. So if you're waiting for government to give you the grant, Chomi, I'm here to disappoint you and tell you, Uguti, kohlwa with the grant. Here we are for people who are going to get started with that little 500 rand that they have in their pocket, with that friend of theirs that have a baki that are going to help them transport amakota from one location to the next. Those are the people that we are here for. When alo olindile, you're going to be a waiter for the rest of your life, and in Tomhlung, you're going to be waiting and you won't be even serving any tables, because ulinde government ukuthi azokusiza. You don't want to see what the system is actually designed for. The system is not designed to take you out of the township. This is because the township, initially, when it was designed, it was a concentration camp for black people. So how do you then empower those people to get out of Leondao? The system fears entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs that are from the township. This is why, when you are from the township, you've heard to learn how to create options for yourself. The system is not for people that are creating options for themselves. Because if you give people options, then you lose control of the people. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is coming from a person who comes directly from the township, who went to school in a township, went to high school in a township, then went to university. When you get to university, you actually realize, hence, and you're trying to start your business, when you're thinking, oh, if I could just buy a loaf of bread by the end of the day. And then he's thinking, oh, if I can just build this asset so I can sell it off to someone as a trade sale so I can make billions and billions of rands. You guys are not the same. You are not on the same scales of life. You understand? So when you are an entrepreneur and you are broke, remember, you are broke because of the system. The system did not give you the advantage to progress into building a sustainable business beyond ukutabanisa. Patanisa. Yeah, siyapatanisa elokishini. Mawuthengisa amakota so that you can have something to eat at the end of the day. You're not thengising amakota so that you can have a franchise. That's not how we think elokishini. And I want us to change that type of thinking, to think, okay, Sasa Agnes Kota can now be a franchise similar to McDonald's. But for you to be able to get to that level, you need to change your operating system. You need to change how you think about business. You need to change how you even operate your business. Lendaba yokuthi uzothengisa amakota mara wena ngo-10 usalele. McDonald's ngo-7 sakavulile userve breakfast. You understand? So we need to change how we run businesses elokishini, because an entrepreneur was elokishini sharp ubroke angifuni nqamamanga ubroke. But as much as you are broke, you can change it. You can change the dynamics. You can change how people view you by changing how you do your business. Okay, so where it's okay. Okay. Earlier on, I wanted to talk about brands. Now, you remember I said when you build a brand is your asset, ne? It's just that the difference is that the bank doesn't recognize it as an asset yet because it's not tangible. It's not something that they can put against your balance sheet and calculate ukuthi conversion rate yakho injani, how many people are converting from your Facebook ads to actually purchase. They're not looking at that. They're not seeing ukuthi your brand, you've got 20,000 followers and the followers actually like what you're selling them. They don't care about that. You are not bringing money. You don't have collateral. So let's fix that for you so that you understand with brand, it's not your logo, chomi. It's not the color scheme. It's not this. This is not a brand. Sharp, it contributes to that, but it's not it. A brand is a promise that you keep so consistently that it becomes the expectation. For example, I don't want to use McDonald's again, but I'm going to use McDonald's again because that's what we ever see. Maktiwa restaurant when you McDonald's, right? So a McDonald's is a brand, right? And you expect ukuthi mawuyofuna a Big Mac, you're going to find the same Big Mac oyithola eKatlehong. It's going to be the same Big Mac oyithola eSandton. You expect that. It's when you do something so consistently that it becomes the expectation. That is what a brand is. A brand is not your logo, chomi. Please, that's just decoration. Your logo is just your decoration. Get that la. A brand is what people expect. Do people expect quality when they look at your business? Do people expect speed, affordability, reliability, luxury? What do people expect? That's your brand. If, for example, you started a business and you're trying to make your business a brand and you're always rude to people, you never deliver on time, people always have to be calling you and you don't even pick up the phone when they call you, people want to complain and you are not even readily available, you're always rude. That's your brand. People expect you to be rude. That's your brand. So when you build a business, Elokshin, think about such things. Think about such things. If you are building a brand, whether it's a clothing brand or it's a makeup brand or whatever it is that you're trying to build, what people expect of you or what people think of you, that is essentially your brand. But you can turn that into your asset. Stay with me. How you turn that into your asset is when now you've built a system against that. Understand? When now there's a system that is backing your brand. For example, let's look at Afro Curl by Ukayla Kim K. Ukayla Kim K was just a girl doing what's the thing where you eat on social media? Mukbang. Yeah, that's all she did. Mukbangs, and she would show up, oh, hey, my honeys. People identified with her like that. Go, oh, she's my honeys. Eventually, she came with her big hair, and she's like, here I am. I've got a hair brand. And she went and she designed the website, she designed the logo, she designed everything. But the brand Afrokel, when people see Afrokel, they don't see the product. They see Ukayla Kim K. That's her brand because people are expecting the hair. People are expecting it delivery. People are expecting colorfulness from that product. People are expecting professionalism. They're expecting the brand to deliver because that's what she does. She delivers. If she says I'm going to do 1 2 3, she gets it done. It's expected with, oh, it's Kayla Kim K, she's gonna get it done. So that's what a brand is. And lastly, before I forget, remember earlier on we were talking about 2 types of entrepreneurs. We spoke about the broke entrepreneur and we spoke about the guy who's salaried or a guy who has a salary, right? Both of them are broke. The only difference is that the salary guy is in ICU most of the time because they're not even financially literate. Where now who is an entrepreneur who's broke, take it as an investment simply because that's when you're learning financial literacy. You are learning the importance of the flow of money, the cash flow statement. You're understanding which, oh, as above, so below. It's a reflection of you, with how you spend your money. Imali business mangena, uyahamba, uyotenga amategi, or do you put it back in the business? Or do you think it's now time for you to flaunt and travel and not reinvest it back in the business? Yeah, understand? Don't be like that guy. Don't be like that guy. When the money of the business comes, make sure you use it as you should because money follows trust. Become trustful. Trustworthy. That's the word. Trustworthy in your own business. Even though you're not reporting to anyone, be trustworthy because trust follows consistency. And consistency follows identity. If you are known ukuthi awuthembakali maso uthole imali umuntu odile wena maso kumele udeliver ipackage awusayideliver so uyayibhubhudla imali yabantu, that's your identity. Fix that. I think this is pretty much it. When you build a business, don't be so hard on yourself. Be hard on yourself. Expect more from yourself. But don't be too hard on yourself. You are learning at the end of the day, especially if ubuya elokishini. I've got a very soft spot for abantu ababuya elokishini because I grew up elokishini. I've seen how local entrepreneurs are doing this thing. For example, I shouldn't be giving these type of examples because I'm out of time. But recycling amagiza. Those people have got a brilliant idea, but for some reason, they are not packaging those well. Umuntu makathola imali egiza, makathola igiza uyahamba yothengisa lela bottle lela, they don't make sure that it meets the standards of safety. They don't care about that. They just want to eat the money and support their families. So by any means, I understand in the country we've got a lot of poor people. South Africa is rich, ne? We've got a lot of poor people, especially in the township. I get it. When you start a business, you just want to make ends meet. But let's think beyond that. It's okay if you want to keep your business small. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you've got bigger plans and you want to help the same government that's not helping you, the government is not going to help you. Trust and believe that. The government is not going to help you get that funding. And lucky for you, good for you. But for the most of us, the government is not going to give you the funding. And if the government is not going to give you the funding, start thinking of ways to fund your business. Follow this podcast, ne? Because as we continue to build a relationship, me and you, I'm going to be giving you tips, clues on how to raise your first million.